Have you ever looked at a vegetable and thought, this has to be healthy, right? Because that's what we've always been told. Eat your veggies. Greens are good. The more, the better. But what if I told you that some vegetables, yes, the same ones sitting in your fridge right now, might actually be doing more harm than good? Especially if you're over 60. Let's say you're shopping for your aging parent. Or maybe, you're just trying to make better choices for yourself as you get older. You grab kale. You grab corn. Maybe even a big, juicy beetroot. But days later, you feel sluggish. Bloated. Dizzy. You assume it's age, or stress. But deep down, something doesn't feel right. See, here's the thing most people never hear: as we age, our bodies don't process food the same way. Our metabolism slows. Our digestion weakens. And even our medication can clash with certain foods, turning a healthy salad into a health hazard. You've probably never heard a doctor say, watch out for vegetables. Because they're supposed to be safe. Natural. Healing. But the truth is, not all vegetables are created equal. Some can spike your blood sugar like soda. Others can strain your kidneys. And a few can block your body from absorbing the very nutrients you're trying to get. But don't worry, this isn't a video about what to fear. It's about what to know. Because in the next few minutes, you're going to discover 4 vegetables that seniors should never touch, and 4 others that are absolute game changers when it comes to energy, heart health, digestion, and even mental clarity. And I promise you, the ones on the list might not be the ones you think. So, if you care about your health, or the health of someone you love, stick with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll walk away with clarity, confidence, and real answers. Now, before we dive into the list, I want you to do one simple thing: scroll down and leave a comment saying, I care about senior health. Let's show the algorithm that people like us, people who value wisdom, longevity, and dignity, deserve to be heard. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. At ElderTalks Daily, we're here every week, helping you and your loved ones age smarter, live stronger, and feel better. Alright, ready to find out which veggies to ditch? And which ones to double up on? Let's get into it. You've probably heard it before: eat your broccoli, it's good for you. And sure, in your younger years, it might have been. But let me tell you a quick story about Mr. Henry, 72 years old, retired librarian, always took pride in his health. He read that kale was a superfood, so he made it part of his daily routine. Raw kale smoothies in the morning. Raw broccoli in his salads. Cauliflower rice for dinner. He thought he was doing everything right. But within weeks, he felt off. Gassy. Bloated. Tired. Even his energy in the afternoons dropped like a rock. At first, he blamed it on aging. But it wasn't that simple. See, raw cruciferous vegetables, like broccoli, kale, and cauliflower, contain goitrogens. These are natural compounds that can interfere with your thyroid function, especially if you're already prone to thyroid imbalances. Now here's the kicker. As we age, our thyroid slows down naturally. So adding large amounts of raw cruciferous veggies can tip the scale in the wrong direction. Not only that, but these veggies are tough to digest when raw. They're full of insoluble fiber, which sounds great on paper, but for older adults with slower digestion or sensitive stomachs, it can cause gas, bloating, and discomfort. And trust me, you don't need another reason to feel sluggish. Now here's where most people get it wrong. They think raw equals better. But for seniors, that's often not the case. Cooking these vegetables, steaming, roasting, or lightly sautéing them, not only makes them easier on your stomach, but it also neutralizes the goitrogens, making them safer and more absorbable. So here's the simple fix: don't ditch broccoli or kale completely, just cook them. A warm bowl of sautéed kale with garlic and olive oil. Way better than a raw kale salad that sits in your gut like a rock. And this brings us to the other side of the spectrum. Because while some veggies can disrupt senior health quietly, others can heal, just as quietly. Now let me introduce you to Mrs. Benson. She's 68. A retired nurse. Sharp, witty, but lately, she'd been getting these weird leg cramps at night. She drank water, she stretched, she took walks, but still, the cramps came. She told her doctor, and he gave her a simple recommendation: add cooked spinach to your meals, at least 3 times a week. She tried it. Within days, the cramps started fading. She slept better. Her energy returned. It was like flipping a switch. You see, spinach is one of those humble vegetables that doesn't get enough credit. When cooked, it becomes a nutrient powerhouse. It's loaded with magnesium, which helps with muscle function and cramp prevention. It's rich in vitamin K, supporting bone strength. And it contains iron, which helps prevent fatigue. But here's the catch: raw spinach is high in oxalates, compounds that can interfere with calcium absorption and contribute to kidney stones if consumed in excess. But when you cook it, those oxalates break down, and your body can actually use the nutrients it needs. Now, a lot of folks avoid spinach altogether out of fear. They've heard rumors about it causing stones or being too strong. But here's the truth: in moderation, and especially when cooked, it's one of the best things you can put on your plate. So what's the easiest way to enjoy it? Try this: lightly sauté spinach in a bit of olive oil with minced garlic. Add a sprinkle of sea salt. You've got yourself a heart-friendly, brain-loving, senior-approved side dish that tastes just as good as it feels. Now, we've talked about bloating and cramps. But what about blood sugar? Because there's a common vegetable that many of us grew up loving. But for seniors with diabetes or prediabetes, it can be shockingly dangerous. Let's talk about it next. Now, imagine Grandpa Joe. He's 74. He's been managing his diabetes for over a decade. No candy. No soda. He checks his sugar daily. Every Sunday, he has his favorite meal: grilled chicken, mashed potatoes, and a huge helping of corn on the cob. Because after all, it's just a vegetable, right? Well, not quite. Corn might come from the produce aisle, but nutritionally, it behaves more like a starch than a veggie. It's loaded with natural sugars and high glycemic carbohydrates. That means it hits your bloodstream fast, causing sudden spikes in blood sugar that seniors often can't bounce back from as quickly. And here's the dangerous part: it doesn't taste like candy, so it slips under the radar. Corn is sneaky like that. A lot of folks assume it's natural. It's not cake. What's the harm? But one serving of corn can raise your blood glucose just as fast as a slice of white bread. And if you're on medications or insulin, that spike can throw everything off. So what's the better move? If you or someone you love is watching their energy, their sugar, or their weight, swap corn for something gentler. Zucchini, cauliflower, or one of my personal favorites, green beans. Which brings me to a little story I received from a viewer named Sylvia. Sylvia is 75. She wrote in last month and said this: "I've had less bloating, less stomach noise, and better digestion since I started eating green beans 4 times a week. I wish I had known this earlier." And she's not alone. Green beans are one of the most underrated vegetables when it comes to senior health. They're what doctors call low FODMAP, which means they're easy on the gut, especially for folks with IBS, gas, or irregular digestion. They've got fiber, sure, but the gentle kind that doesn't fight your belly. And they're rich in vitamin C and K, helping with immunity and bone strength. But here's the thing: people pass them by because they think they're bland. You know the ones. Boiled until mush, flavorless, gray-green on the plate. But when done right, steam them lightly so they stay vibrant. Then toss with a drizzle of olive oil, a squeeze of lemon, and a pinch of sea salt. They come alive. They're refreshing, clean, and kind to an aging digestive system. So yes, green beans aren't flashy. But in a world of trendy superfoods and overhyped powders, sometimes the quietest ones offer the most healing. Still, while green beans are gentle, not every green veggie plays nice, especially if you're on blood pressure meds. There's one colorful root that many seniors reach for to boost heart health, but taken in the wrong amount, it might do more harm than good. Let me explain. Let me introduce you to Mr. Patel. He's 80. Bright-eyed, disciplined, always looking for natural ways to stay healthy. He read somewhere that beet juice could cleanse the liver and boost energy. So he started drinking it. Every morning, first thing. No sugar. No additives. Just pure beetroot juice. By day 4, he felt a little lightheaded. By day 6, he had to sit down after climbing a short flight of stairs. By day 7, his blood pressure had dropped so low, his doctor told him to stop immediately. You see, beets are rich in nitrates, which can help widen blood vessels and lower blood pressure. And in moderation, that's a good thing. But for seniors already taking blood pressure medications, that's a risky combo. The beet juice was doubling the effects of his meds, pushing his BP too low, too fast. And here's the problem, people hear the word superfood and assume it means safe for everyone. But especially in older adults, where the body responds more sensitively to changes, superfoods can become super dangerous if you're not paying attention to interactions. So what's the takeaway? Beetroot is not bad. But if you're on medications for blood pressure or circulation, use it in moderation. A few slices in a salad? Fine. An occasional roasted side dish? Great. But daily beet juice shots? That's where it gets risky, so always run it by your doctor first. Now if you're looking for a veggie that actually supports blood pressure and energy levels without putting your meds into overdrive, you might want to give this next one a second look. She's 70, sharp as a tack, but lately, she'd been feeling foggy. Her doctor had told her to cut back on carbs. So she ditched bread, pasta, rice, even potatoes. But as the days went on, her energy dropped. She felt sluggish. Her memory felt off. She just didn't feel like herself. Her nutritionist took one look at her diet and said, "Edna, bring back sweet potatoes." And that changed everything. Sweet potatoes are a gift to the aging body. They're what we call a complex carbohydrate, slow to digest, steady in energy. They're full of beta-carotene, which the body converts into vitamin A for eye health and immune support. They're rich in potassium, which helps balance fluid levels and supports a healthy heartbeat. And let's not forget the fiber, great for digestion, weight management, and even cholesterol. Now a lot of folks think sweet potatoes are just orange versions of white potatoes. But nutritionally, they're worlds apart. Sweet potatoes help stabilize blood sugar, not spike it. They nourish without draining energy or causing crashes. So how do you make them taste great? Roast them. Slice them into wedges, toss them with a bit of olive oil, sprinkle on some cinnamon, and let the oven do its magic. They come out caramelized, soft inside, just the right amount of sweet. Great for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And best of all, they make you feel full, focused, and balanced. Now, we've talked about 3 vegetables to avoid. And we've uncovered 3 that deserve a spot on your plate. But before we finish, let's complete the list, with one last vegetable that looks innocent, but hides a risk, and one final veggie that might just become your new favorite. Ms. Clara, 76, loved her eggplant parmesan. She made it every Friday. It reminded her of her mother, warm, savory, comforting. But Clara also had chronic kidney disease, something she managed carefully for years. Then one day during a checkup, her doctor said something that made her stop in her tracks. "You might need to ease up on the eggplant." She was shocked. Eggplant? A vegetable? What could be so dangerous? Well, here's what most people don't know. Eggplant contains oxalates, which in high amounts can promote kidney stone formation, especially in people with compromised kidney function. It's also high in potassium, a vital nutrient, yes, but too much of it can overwhelm the kidneys, especially when they're not filtering properly. And that's the key. We often think the only thing seniors with kidney issues need to watch is sodium. But in reality, Potassium overload can be just as dangerous, leading to fatigue, muscle weakness, or even heart rhythm problems. Now if your kidneys are healthy and functioning well, a little eggplant here and there isn't a big deal. But if you, or your loved one, have kidney concerns, it's best to limit it, or skip it altogether. There are better alternatives anyway. Try zucchini, which is lighter, easier to digest, and can be roasted just like eggplant. Or even mushrooms, which bring a rich, earthy flavor without the potassium overload. Sometimes, small changes in the kitchen lead to big changes in how we feel. Now to end this list on a high note, let's talk about one last vegetable. It's vibrant. It's sweet. And it's one of the most powerful allies we have when it comes to fighting inflammation, supporting immunity, and slowing the aging process from the inside out. Tom is 69. He used to catch colds all the time. Felt tired by mid-morning. Had trouble concentrating and just assumed it was normal aging. Then his daughter, also a nutritionist, told him to add red bell peppers to his meals 3 times a week. He didn't expect much. But after a few weeks, he started noticing the difference. Red bell peppers are packed with vitamin C, in fact, they contain even more than oranges. They're also full of antioxidants, which help protect the body from cellular damage and inflammation. And for older adults, that matters more than ever. Less inflammation means less joint pain, stronger immunity, and better recovery when your body is under stress. Now here's the best part, people often think peppers are spicy. But red bell peppers, they're sweet, mild, and flavorful. They bring color and crunch without any of the heat. Slice them raw into a salad. Dice them into scrambled eggs. Roast them in the oven for a soft, smoky sweetness that adds depth to any meal. They're beautiful on the plate, and powerful in the body. And there you have it. We've walked through 8 vegetables, 4 you may want to avoid, and 4 that deserve a regular spot on your plate. But this isn't just a list. It's a toolkit. Because food isn't just about filling your stomach, it's about fueling your future. Now let's bring all of this together. Because how we choose to nourish ourselves today will shape the strength, clarity, and comfort we experience tomorrow. Let's just pause here for a second. Because I know, this isn't easy. Rethinking what we eat, what we feed our parents or grandparents, even what's been tradition in our homes for decades. That's a big shift. If you're someone who grew up watching your mom peel eggplants in the kitchen, or you remember your dad always grilling corn on Sundays, these foods carry memories. They're tied to laughter, to culture, to love. So hearing that some of those very foods may not be the best choice anymore, it can feel uncomfortable. Maybe even a little sad. But let me tell you something, awareness doesn't erase tradition. It honors it. Because what's tradition really about? It's about care. It's about doing what's best for the people you love. And now that we know more, we can love better. You're not just swapping out vegetables. You're choosing energy over exhaustion. You're choosing clarity over confusion. You're choosing strength, stability, and peace of mind over silent decline. That's not rejection. That's evolution. And honestly, that's love in motion. So here's what I'd love for you to do today, walk over to your fridge or your pantry. Take a slow look. What are the foods you or your loved one reach for every day? Which of them might be doing more harm than good, even if they look healthy on the outside? What's one simple swap you can make right now? Maybe it's choosing roasted sweet potatoes instead of white bread. Maybe it's replacing raw kale with sautéed spinach. Maybe it's adding red bell peppers to tomorrow's lunch. Small changes, over time, add up to massive wins. And every thoughtful choice is a quiet message to your body that says, I want you well. I want you strong. I'm not giving up on you. Because here's the truth, food isn't just fuel. It's not just vitamins and fiber and numbers on a label. It's connection. It's memory. It's medicine. And when we prepare food with care, with understanding, with wisdom, we're not just extending life. We're improving the quality of it. And that's what really matters. So be proud of yourself. You've taken a step most people ignore. You've chosen to learn, to listen, and to lead with love. And that makes all the difference. Stick with me, because in just a moment, I'll recap everything we covered, and share how you can continue making better choices every single day. Alright. Let's take a moment to bring it all together. Today, we explored 8 powerful vegetables that can have a big impact on senior health, some for the better, and some that may quietly be doing more harm than good. On the caution list, we had raw cruciferous veggies like kale and cauliflower, which can interfere with thyroid health. Corn, which spikes blood sugar faster than you'd expect. Beets, which while full of nutrients, can dangerously lower blood pressure if you're on certain meds. An eggplant, which can overload weakened kidneys with oxalates and potassium. And then, our shining stars, spinach, but cooked, so you absorb all that muscle-soothing magnesium. Green beans, the gentle giants of digestion. Sweet potatoes, full of energy without the sugar crash. And red bell peppers, colorful and rich with the antioxidants your immune system craves. 8 vegetables. 1 body. 1 life. And now, you're better equipped to take care of it. Now I want to hear from you. Backhand index pointing right. Which of these veggies caught you off guard? Backhand index pointing right. Have you, or someone you care for, had a reaction to one of the danger vegetables we talked about? Or maybe there's a veggie you swear by that gives you energy, clarity, or just plain makes you feel good. Drop a comment below and tell me your story. I read every single one, and your experiences help someone else feel less alone in this journey. And hey, if this video gave you even one helpful insight, hit that thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that senior health matters. And don't forget to subscribe to ElderTalks Daily. This is a space for real talk, honest care, and practical advice to help you, and the people you love, age with strength, grace, and peace of mind. We don't chase fads here. We follow wisdom. And you're officially part of that movement now. So thank you. Thank you for taking time, for yourself, and for the people you care for. Thank you for choosing information over guesswork. Thank you for being the kind of person who cares enough to learn. Take care of yourself today. Take care of those around you. And I'll see you in the next video, right here on ElderTalks Daily. Stay strong. Stay wise. Stay well.